this is Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the popular kitchen gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I'm coming to you from Rose Cottage in Yorkshire to show you how to cook breaded pork chops in the air fryer. Well, before we dive into this recipe, I just wanted to suggest that you head over to RecipeThis.com. We've got more than 1,200 kitchen gadget recipes, including recipes for the air fryer, instant pot, slow cooker, soup maker, bread maker, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and many others. We also have a free weekly newsletter, which you can find on the homepage of RecipeThis.com, or you can find it on RecipeThis.com/newsletter. And there you can get our best kitchen gadget recipes sent to your inbox every Friday morning. Before we get into bowls and breading the pork chops, we're going to start with the marinade. This helps tenderise the pork chops. They only need to go in the fridge for an hour and then you can be breading them and air frying them. So first of all, you need a plate or a bowl or something that you can keep your pork chops on. And then the pork chops we are using is pork loin chops. Any will do, whatever you have available. And I'm just checking, these are from the butchers at Morrison's. And then I recommend transferring them to a plate. You can also do boneless pork chops as well, but you might want to reduce the cook time by about 15% because it's the bone part of it that makes it take so long to cook. So once you've got them on there like that, I'm just going to quickly wipe my hands on the pork. And then what you want to be doing is seasoning with salt, pepper, and then whatever poultry seasoning that you've got. You could use a chicken one, you can use a pork one. They're very similar, so it really doesn't matter which one you go with. And then just give the pork a good seasoning. If you don't do this, I find the pork can be really bland after you've cooked it. And then after that, you also want to add some apple juice. I've just added one of the kids a little apple juices and poured it into her mug, and then there it is in the dish ready to go. You really don't need a lot of it, and it's just perfect for seasoning your pork before it goes in the air fryer. So now I'm going to put the pork chops in the fridge and I'll be back with you in an hour to show you how to bread them. Well, we've allowed the pork chops to marinate in the fridge for a while, and we've gathered up the rest of the ingredients that we need to make our breaded pork chops. I like to do this while the pork chops is marinating because then there's not the pressure to have everything out straight away. So what I have now is I have a bowl of flour, I've got a bowl of beaten egg, and I've got a bowl of breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs are actually left over from another recipe we've just been breading. So as you can see, they've already got some colour to them. So we're just going to add a little bit more to them all so that they can be flavoursome, because there's nothing worse than bland breaded food in the air fryer. I recommend you start with salt in both your flour and your breadcrumb bowls. And then you add some poultry seasoning to your flour bowl. You add oregano. I've already got some still in there, so I'm not adding as much as what's on recipe this. And then some parsley as well. And then the interesting one that I add to pork chops is I also add a little bit of apple juice to the egg. Look, you don't want to do too much of this because the egg is there to bind, so you're only wanting a small quantity, so about 3/4 of a tablespoon of apple juice, because it just adds in an extra layer of flavour. And then you want a spoon to give them a big mix. Start with the flour, then do the breadcrumbs, And what I love most is I love the colouring on the breadcrumbs. It just looks gorgeous, and you notice it when you cut into them as well. And then we do the egg last, because you don't want to be dipping in the egg and then dipping in the breadcrumbs. So just do that, just to make sure the little bit of apple juice is mixed in. And as you know, you've already seasoned your pork chops. They've been marinating. So now it's a case of breading them through flour first, then egg mixture, and then breadcrumbs. And I'm now going to pass you over to my lovely husband Dominic, who's been a chef since 1993, and he's absolutely fantastic at breading food for the air fryer, and I thought you deserved the professional treatment. So to start with, Dominic's just going to show you how you bread them. First of all, make sure you lose some of the juice that's on that pork, because otherwise it'll end up making your flour really wet and they won't stick together. And then make sure you give it a really good coating with the flour, because you've had the apple juice on them and you want to make sure they're spot on. If in doubt, what you can do is, after you've marinated your pork, you can pat it dry with some kitchen towel if you want. But we're on location, we're not at home at the moment. We're filming a pretty Yorkshire country cottage, and there's always something we forget. Well, today's the day that we've forgotten some kitchen towel, so there you go. But you know, a drip dry or a clean tea towel can do such a good job too. And wow, that looks fantastic. If you look, it's got a fantastic coating on the pork chop, and that's just perfect for cooking in the air fryer. And then I recommend something clean to one side that you can put them on once you've prepped them. We've been doing quite a lot of cooking today, so we're out of plates, believe it or not. So we're using a chopping board to hold our pork chops on before we cook them in the air fryer. But a plate, a bowl, anything you've got available is fine for this. And then also note, if you just watch Dominic now, you will notice that he uses his left hand for the flour and egg and his right hand for the breadcrumbs. This is so that he's not getting that eggy mixture into the breadcrumbs, and the breadcrumbs are staying fresh, and then they're perfect for if we're using it for another recipe afterwards. And as you can see, he's getting a fantastic coating on that pork. And the full recipe is available for this at recipethis.com. Simply search breaded pork chops, or if you head into the video description, there's the link there. And then you can print out the recipe card with full details of the recipe, and then it's easy for learning all the different measurements and cook times. And it saves you rewinding and then fast forwarding the video just for those little bits. And then that's the final one. So we've actually breaded 3 pork chops here. We'll only manage to fit 2 of them into our air fry basket, so we'll have to do them in batches to complete the full 3. But it depends on your air fryer size. If you've got an air fryer oven, even better. And that's how to do them, and now we're going to be showing you how to cook them in the air fryer. Open up your air fryer basket. I'm using the Kasori air fryer for this recipe, and you want to gently place some pork chops in the air fryer. There's no way I could fit 3 in there, so I'm just going with 2, and then we can do the other one on its own later. And then turn your air fryer on, 180 Celsius, 360 Fahrenheit, and a cook time of 12 minutes. And then we can check on them, because like I said, these are thicker pork chops because they're loin, and then we can see how much longer they need or if they're done. And we've beeped. So let's check on our pork chops, shall we? And we'll see if they need any more or if they're cooked. So these are the pork chops, and wow, they look absolutely amazing. And oh wow, I love the way they fluff up as they cook the pork chops in there. And looking at these are actually fully cooked, so they don't actually need any longer. So if you've got a really powerful air fryer and you're following recipes for somebody that's got a less powerful air fryer, I recommend, instead of following 12 minutes, that you start off at 10 minutes and then you can check on them. Because sometimes the air fryer actually surprises me with how quickly it cooks things. It's like these are much thicker than the other ones, so I would have thought another 3 minutes, but they're actually perfect to cook now, which is great. So let's try the breaded pork chops, shall we? Can't wait to tuck into them and see how good they are. I want to try and get some of the nice meat inside. That is lovely. And a lovely apple taste as well. I love my pork with some apple. You can use apple cider or you can use apple juice. Either of them work really well. And that breading is really nice as well. And as you can see, it's totally kept its shape, which is fantastic. So if you've not done them before, do check out our breaded pork chops in the air fryer. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter, where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen, and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.